Yes, I've got you under my skin. I've tried so not to give in. I said to myself, this affair ain't never gonna go too well.
Hey, welcome back. Thanks for joining the podcast. Thanks for listening. This week, I don't have a guest. It's the first one since I think like the first one I did that I don't have a guest. So I'm going to give this a shot. Something I've been thinking about this week that I thought would be an interesting way to do this and see if maybe people want to, hit me up on Twitter or something and start a conversation. But I've been thinking about a conversation around a concept I've been thinking of called Humans 101. It's almost like we need a simple global Humans 101 course that just gives like simple truths, like a few simple pictures we can all agree on, just as a starting point, so that everybody at least has the same starting point. I mean, obviously, just some simple ones like, we're all just humans and we come in different colors. Like that should just be so straightforward, like we don't often enough, like my kids always, we would say like, you'd talk about aliens and animals like we weren't the same, and I'm just like, well, dude, we're animals. We're just seem to have figured out how to talk and make stuff, but we're animals too. And then we're also aliens. Like we live on a planet hurtling through the sky in a universe kind of solar system. So we're aliens. We just haven't left this one yet and land. Well, it's not true. We landed on the moon and got some stuff up on Mars. So, I mean, yeah, like we're aliens, so anyway, just some fundamental truths that like we could just all agree on as a planet, as a starting point. I think that would help conversation shift away from things that we just really shouldn't be arguing about anymore. Like it just baffles me that there's still some questions about those things. So that's what I've been thinking about is can we have those? And if we did have them, how would you communicate them? How would you get them? How would you get people to understand it? How would you get people to know it? Like when do you get this information? Like as soon as you're born? Can we put it somewhere? I don't think there's a lot of these tenets that would really help, but global messaging has obviously been a major concern, but only because some of the messages are so shitty. Like we have the capability now, obviously, through, the internet and social media to reach a lot of people really quickly with video content. Live video, real content can be around the world almost instantaneously, I would think, to anyone that's connected to the internet. Why wouldn't we use that for good? Why wouldn't we use it to say, hey, look, we finally connected the whole planet. We don't even need to speak the same language because it'll be translated immediately in whatever language you want, automatically, basically. And just say, here's a couple things we can all agree on, no matter what country you're in. Everybody should get this message. And the only people that don't want everybody to get that message are people who benefit from us not getting that message. So we should do that. And it has to be globally understood and very simple. Something that every person knows almost as soon as they're able to like think for themselves, like little kids. Like, little kids are really smart. They can figure things out really quick. One human. We're all human. We're all the same thing. Kids actually, I think, get that. I think they unlearn it, actually. Like, oh, that kid's got that color skin. He's still a kid. He likes the same thing I like, or she likes the same things I like, you know? It's like we're all just the same species with spectrums and like, what if we were just making an avatar in a video game? You know, all of the possibilities would be there. Hair color, skin color, eye color, height, weight, you know, all that stuff. We don't blink an eye when we're building our avatar in a video game. We're not questioning that the avatar of the human is going to behave like a human, regardless of what you change the appearance of it, right? So, I mean, video games are pretty popular. Maybe that's the way to get the message across. I don't know. I don't know how to fix this. Obviously, it's just hard to keep watching these arguments go down and see people question these things that just seem so obvious. And obviously, I'm way too utopian and optimistic about it, but it has to be possible. And I feel like it's kind of along the lines of what, you know, maybe ancient civilizations were trying to do, was somehow leave a mark for eternity, explaining to people that would come after them that might not know the language, like, here's what we figured out so far. Here's how we collectively get through this together, you know. Here's how we get along in groups. As they figure these things out, they put giant stone statues, giant stone tablets all over. I mean, places in the world that are thousands of years old that have giant statues in them that are basically telling you to sit down and close your eyes and breathe. I think they're there for a reason. And that looks like a lot of work to make that thing. A lot of people took a lot of time to do that. I think there's something to be said there that we should be paying more attention to those types of truths that are all over the planet and understand that we're meant to be better than what we're seeing out in the world. I mean, we know these things are pretty straightforward, and it's not a political thing. You know, just people have bad ideas, I think, and they get spread too easily. We got to take a look at that, obviously. I don't know what I'm trying to solve. But, yeah, it is interesting to me that keeps happening. So I've been thinking about this Humans 101 thing, this standard issue. Every human should get one. Maybe it's a set of flashcards or something, and just really get the message across, because we have the power to do it. We have smart marketing people that could use those powers for good. We have good distribution channels. We have social media that's so infectious, so addictive, that we have to limit our screen time and find ways around it and all this stuff. We have the tools. We just have to distribute the right message and make sure that the algorithms are geared for the right incentives. Not ad dollars, but just the right incentives. Like, how much more money could companies make if everybody was doing well and could be, you know, consumers of things and well-adjusted and happy and living a good life and able to buy the things that they want or whatever. That's important, but just, you know, basically, like, they're shooting themselves in the foot by not making everybody's lives better. Like, why are we arguing about the definition of socialism when we're obviously talking about common good items? You know, like, everybody should have healthcare. That seems like a really good idea. Like, we really can't figure this out. Like, I don't understand why that gets argued. We can make dramatic changes quickly. We can turn on a dime, you know. Industries fall all the time. You know, the common one that always comes up is, like, you know, when the car came out, all the people that made horseshoes kind of, you know, most of the people that made horseshoes really kind of went out of business. We didn't need as many horseshoes. We didn't need, the buggies, and things change. Things go out of style. Things become obsolete. That's what technology and innovation and the advance of civilization is. We update. So it's hard to watch some of these discussions go on in the media, in the news, during debates, during the last presidential cycle, like all of it. I just don't get it. It doesn't make any sense that we're still arguing about things that seem to be fundamental truths that are really hard to argue with. I was saying about socialism, like, if you don't like socialism, then you don't like things that are somewhat socialist. Public education, means everybody chips in. That's it. Just means everybody chips in. We all want this. We all want firefighters. We all chip in and say, "Yep, let's keep that going together." We can all chip in there. I think part of the problem is we've been chipping in and feeling like we're not getting anything for a while, and that makes people mad too. I just feel like we can do better. We've seen the experiments in smaller countries. We've seen these things tried in smaller places, and we're smarter than this. Aren't we smarter than this? I think we can be better than this. That's all. I don't know. I'm optimistic about it. I want my kids to be optimistic. I want my kids to keep trying to make everything better, because things are possible. Change is possible. We didn't think this last year would be like it was, but it was. And I hope we learned. I hope we're better. But I am optimistic that we can do it, but we have to have good conversations about it. And maybe, hey, let's talk about how to operationalize this Humans 101 thing. Like, literally, like, get all the best marketing people together, get all the best graphic artists together, get all of the best communicators, linguists, psychologists, early childhood education specialists together, and say, like, all right, what's like a couple things we could just message around the world and just be like, hey, everybody, let's first start right here with this one simple thing. The thing is that exposes a lot of bullshit that people have been held down by for a long time, right? Yeah. And, like I said before, those people that don't want those messages out are the ones that benefit by not having those messages out or not having people realize it. But it's not like we can't do better. It's not like we haven't done better. The pandemic, obviously the messaging was terrible. The mask messaging was terrible, very confusing. The vaccine messaging is terrible, very confusing. If you have any doubts at all, you can certainly find a reason to not trust this or that, or go down a conspiracy rabbit hole around, the vaccines and all that stuff. But I don't know, man. It seems like we can do better. I hope we try to do better. I'm going to try to do better. One thing that really got me thinking about this was this book by Stuart Brand called The Clock of the Long Now. And the book is basically a thought experiment, too, where it talks about how do you make a clock that can last for 10,000 years? Like, what would you make the clock out of? How would you tell people how to wind it or keep it going? What would you build it? What would you build it out of? How would you keep it going? How would you tell people how it works? Where would you put it so it didn't get ruined in the weather? So many questions come up about like thinking long term in just this one experiment around like, a clock that would last for 10,000 years. I just love that idea. It's like, man, we have to think about everything that way, because we should be, handing off a planet, a civilization, a society, a community, a town, whatever. We should be stewards of that information and of that responsibility for the next generation. We're just out here like arguing over dumb things on the wrong side of history. And you know, it's so dumb. It just seems so dumb. So anyway, yeah, the clock of the long now is an interesting one. Yeah, in the words of Stuart Brand, he's a founding member. It turned into a foundation. Like, it turned into this foundation called the Long Now Foundation, where they actually built the clock. They like built one. They're trying to figure out how to actually do it. Like, it's incredible. It's almost like NASA, you know, where, you know, by trying to get to space, we figured out how to do all kinds of things that are useful. Same idea. So Stuart Brand, who wrote the book, and he's a founding member of the foundation, he wrote, such a clock, if sufficiently impressive and well-engineered, would embody deep time for people. It should be charismatic to visit, interesting to think about, and famous enough to become iconic in the public discourse. Ideally, it would do for thinking about time what the photographs of Earth from space have done for thinking about the environment. Such icons reframe the way people think. Smart man. So, anyway, thanks for listening and subscribing, and tell your friends, rate and review, and yeah, have a good week.
When baby I know too well that I've got you under my skin. I'd sacrifice anything come what might for the sake